Hi, my name is Amarita Slack. I am a third-year psychology student at Bemidji State University, and I did my research on the undergraduate experience of disappointing grades. So what has been used to predict retention rates in the past have been high school GPA and the ACT. And these are pre-college predictors that have been used consistently in the past. What we have changed in our equation, you could say, is we're looking at what can predict retention rates. And this is looking at negative influences that undergraduates can experience during college as opposed to just looking at their pre-college years. And we've added personal variables, social variables, and academic variables to this said equation. So in my literature review, I found 3 articles that discuss the effects of disappointing grades on students. The reason we're looking at disappointing grades as opposed to specifically low grades is because students can experience grades differently. And so disappointment is kind of that underlying experience of the grade because 2 students can experience a C in very different ways. And so the ways that these disappointing grades affect students is there's a long list of negative effects: embarrassment, decreased motivation, a decrease in their self-worth and ability to succeed, a decrease in their ambition, determination, and then an increase in their likelihood to give up. So as you see, there's a lot of negative side effects of these disappointing grades that happen to students. On to my research, onto the methodology. 57 students from Bemidji State University were recruited at the university dining hall and the university food court, and each participant was given a $5 gift card for their participation. One of the few requirements was that they had finished a full semester at least of college, which doesn't include post-secondary education options that were provided in high school. In addition, announcements were made in various psychology courses, and professors offered extra credit to those who participated in the study. The average GPA of the 57 participants was a 3.23. And for those who don't know, Bemidji State is found in northern Minnesota, as seen where this red star is on the map. And there are approximately 5,400 students at Bemidji State University, and 88% of those students actually come from Minnesota. And this picture on the bottom is actually the beautiful Lake Bemidji that our campus is located on. So on to our procedure. So a quantitative survey of about 80 questions was used to measure undergraduates' thoughts about dropping out and their experience with receiving a failing or a disappointing grade. Like I said before, this was administered in 2 places on campus, in the dining hall and in our food court during the lunch and dinner rushes. Each participant signed a consent form and was given a quiet room to fill out the survey, and then they were given a form to debrief the procedure and finally given their $5 gift card to our on-campus stores. Onto our materials section. Our survey used a Likert scale with 5 different levels that ranged from strongly agree to strongly disagree. That was used to assess the participants' attitudes on each of the questions. And the scale also included a non-applicable option. The survey included 5 different sections, the first one being demographics, and then thoughts about dropping out, the participant's lowest grade, the effect of the lowest grade, and then the participants' knowledge of, use, and experience with withdrawals. And because of time and space, the last section on withdrawals was not analyzed or reported on. On to our results section. We split split our results into 3 different sections, and the first one being general thoughts about dropping out for our participants. As you can see, so 40% of our participants agreed with the general question that they have thought about dropping out or taking a break from Bemidji State University. And on the left of the screen here, we have 2 graphs showing the 2 most frequently reported reasons for thoughts about dropping out. The first one being that they needed a mental break, in which 42% of our participants agreed with that. And the second most frequently reported reasons for thinking about dropping out was that college is too expensive, in which 34% of our participants agreed with that. On to our next set of results, we have correlations with GPA and thoughts about dropping out. So participants' current GPA was negatively predictive of thoughts about dropping out because of disappointing academic performance, disappointing grades, and a belief that they were not college material. And there was a marginal correlation between GPA and needing a mental break, which suggests that grades do have an effect on the mental health of participants. This study found that GPA did not predict all reasons for participants' thoughts about dropping out of college, as seen in this table to the left. Participants' GPA was not predictive of thoughts about dropping out because of college being too expensive, because of a lack of friends at college, because family needed them at home, or because of the possibility of getting a good job without the degree. On to our last set of results, we have the effect of the participant's lowest grade. As you can see on the left on the graph, we have showing the frequency of the lowest grade reported by each participant. And though 74.07% of those participants reported their lowest grade as a C or higher, the low grade still demonstrated an increase in a long list of self-depreciating thoughts, such as you can look on the table to the right, anger with self, increased anxiety, decreased sense of belonging, lowered self-efficacy, feelings as though they were less intelligent, and a decrease in their confidence that they can graduate with their degree. On to our discussion, we found that grades were not the only reason people thought about dropping out of college. On our last slide, we showed that most of our students actually marked that their lowest grade or most disappointing grade was a C or above. And though those may seem like good grades or at least average grades, these participants are still dealing with a large array of self-depreciating thoughts. Moving on, GPA was only related to thoughts about dropping out due to disappointing grades. And if we think back to the last slide, it's important to notice that the most disappointing or lowest grade for participants was not positively correlated with motivating students, which kind of goes against the A to F grading scale, because this scale is meant to help motivate students to improve their performance, but based on these performances or these participants' answers, this scale is not doing that. On to the next, talking about further implications. We did assess the students' experience and the effects of withdrawals on undergraduates, but we did not have time to analyze and go into that. So I think digging deeper into how withdrawal differs from a lower disappointing grade would be a nice place to pick up with this topic. On this slide is a list of my references that I used for this research. And again, my name is Amarita Slack. If you have any questions about this research, please feel free to contact me at amarita.slack@live.bemidjistate.edu. Thank you so much.